Yo, Checkered mates, it's Ivan P. How's everyone doing? Guys, we're less than 2 weeks away from Croatia playing Morocco at the World Cup, and today, Coach Dalic announced the final squad, the squad that's going to the World Cup, the squad that's going to bring us home the World Cup once and for all. So let's take a look at these players that made the list, and also let's take a look at the players that didn't make the cut. So let's start with the goalies. Our starting goalie, Dominik Livakovic, goalie for Dinamo Zagreb. He's been playing a lot of Champions League games this year, a lot of league games. I think finally he has the confidence to bring us where we belong, and that's gold medal at the World Cup. We have Ivo Grbić and Ivica Ivusic as backup goalies, two solid goalies. Ivo Grbić playing for Atletico Madrid. He hasn't played that much this season, but he's a very solid goalie. He's shown it at the Nations League and during the World Cup qualifying games. Let's jump into the defense. Our defense is one aspect that we became much better at compared to the last World Cup in 2018 and the Nations League in 2019. Our defense has become so solid because we added all this youth, and I'm talking about Josip Juranovic, Joško Gvardiol, Borna Sosa, Josip Stanisic. These young studs are gonna make our defense solid as a wall. I think we only let in 4 goals during the World Cup qualifying. That's freaking awesome. Now let's take a look at our backline. We have Domagoj, Vida, and Dejan Lovren. Now I'm putting them together because these are 2 veteran players. They were there at the last World Cup. They brought us all the way to the final, and they're still going to be here in our squad in 2022. And you know what? That's fine. The locker room needs these veteran players to guide these young players. And you know, I would have one of them at a time. I wouldn't be playing both of them at the same time because we need some fresh legs out there, especially when we're playing quick teams like Canada and Morocco and even Belgium. So we got Domagoj, Vida, Dejan Lovren. 2 of the veterans are still in the squad, which is absolutely fine. We just don't want Dejan Lovren making any of those big mistakes he's known for. All right, moving along to the left back position, we have Borna Barisic. Now he's a standard left back at the Rangers, and he became one of our standard left backs as well after the 2018 World Cup until Borna Sosa came in. Now Barisic, he's a solid left back. He plays really well for Rangers, solid for Croatia. But Borna Sosa, he is just a next level talent. His crosses, his pace, his speed, just incredible. He's been tearing it up in assists with Stuttgart this year. And we've seen him all perform with Croatia. His crosses are nice and crisp and clean. So Borna Sosa took the ¡1 spot away from Borna Barisic. But you know what? Borna Barisic, I still have confidence in him. If we ever need a backup, if Sosa's tired after a game or 2, Borna Barisic is a great backup. So we have 2 solid left backs in defense. Really happy about that. So now that we have the left back covered, let's see who we have on the right side. On the right side, we have Josip Juranovic and Josip Stanisic. Now, Juranovic has been our #1 right back ever since Hrvatska left, and Juranovic has, he's proven himself with the Celtic. He's proven himself with Croatia with his speed and his passing and his pace. His defense is kind of questionable sometimes. He fails to cover some angles, but his speed covers up for that. And you know what? I'm confident in Juranovic starting for us. And then we got Josip Stanisic as a second option. He's been playing at Bayern. Hasn't been getting the most minutes at Bayern, but you know what? He proved against France during the summer that he could hold down any player in the world, especially when he was covering, Mbappe. He was covering Mbappe during that game against France, and he did an excellent job. He made Mbappe his B word. He did such a great job that he deserves to be even if we put him ahead of Juranovic, I wouldn't be mad about that because Stanisic has proven that he's a solid player, solid right back. It's just that he hasn't gotten the minutes that Juranovic has gotten this season. So 2 right backs, super solid. Either one of them could start. And then we have the center back, Joško Gvardiol. probably one of the most sought after young center backs in the whole world. We're so lucky to have this kid. He is so solid. He's a complete player. He has the size, the pace. He pushes the ball forward. His defense is incredible. I mean, I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what he's going to do against teams like Belgium, even Canada, who has those fast players in attack, and first game against Morocco as well. And then we have Martin Erlic and Josip Šutal. Josip Šutal playing for Dinamo Zagreb. Erlic playing for, who is he playing for? Sassuolo. So Šutal and Erlic proved themselves during the Nations League that they could play together. They had a solid game. Was it against France or Denmark? It's one of the two games where they played together and they were super solid. They held their ground. They held the other team to 0 goals. And they are such a solid pair that I wouldn't mind either one of them starting with gvardiol, or even if Gvardiol's tired, both of them starting together. So looking at this defense, we have 2 players, for each position that could start the game, that are good enough to start the game. And we have these 2 veterans, Vida and Lovren, that are there, that could obviously play, but they could also give so much advice and so much mentoring to these young players on and off the field. So I think we have the perfect mix in our defense. Teams are going to have a lot of difficulty to score on us because of our defense. So I'm super happy about that. Defense hasn't been a strong point in many years. I think finally we could compare ourselves to those high defending teams like Italy. We have the talent, we have the capabilities of shutting down almost anyone. We've shut down Denmark, we've shut down France. I mean, Denmark considered one of the best teams in Europe. France, world champions in 2018. So we've shut them down. I think we could shut down anybody, including Brazil, Argentina, whoever. All right, now let's take a look at the position where nobody in the world could beat us. Nobody in the world has a better midfield than Croatia. I dare you find a better midfield than what Croatia has right now. All right, we have Luka Modric, Mateo Kovacic, Marcelo Brozovic. Now, just those 3 names, I dare you find a better midfield in the whole world with those 3 names that could compete against those 3 right there. Any team in the World Cup who has a better midfield than Luka Modric, Kovacic, and Brozovic. I dare you. I mean, if you know the answers, put the answer down below in the comments. But like I said, this trio of magicians, I mean, they're going to control the tempo. They're going to control the midfield. They're going to hold the ball. Modric is going to do his magic like always. Kovacic is going to do his dribbling, his magic dribbling. Brozovic is going to be running up and down the field. He'll be everywhere. I mean, we are so lucky. We're so lucky to have these 3 players, and let's just enjoy this tournament, enjoy watching these guys play, because it's going to be magical. I'm telling you right now, guys, it's going to be magical. If this is going to be Modric's last World Cup, they're going to give it all. Modric is going to give it all. Kovacic, Brozovic, they're going to do it for Modric, because everybody wants Modric to win big this tournament if it's going to be his last. So just enjoy the show. It's going to be awesome. Now, we have more guys in midfield. All right, we're not done yet. Mario Pasalic for Atalanta. Now he is, I would say he's like a false 9. He has that we call a nose for the goal. He knows where to be to score. He scored many goals for Croatia, many goals for Atalanta. Mario Pasalic is a key player. Now sometimes he plays on the right side, right wing, and sometimes he plays as a false 9 attacking role. For this tournament, I see him more coming off the bench, probably on the right wing, or the substitute if we need a late goal or something. We got Nikola Vlasic. Now this is an interesting player, and he's been on fire recently for Torino. I think he just scored a goal and an assist today. He's really been on fire with Torino, and I think he's on the upswing. So I'm really excited to see what Dalic is going to do with Vlasic. He's been starting for us on the right wing, and he's been doing pretty good. He assisted that first goal for Modric against our last game against Austria. Was it against Austria or Denmark? One of the last two games. He assisted Modric right in the opening minutes. So we see he knows how to hold the ball. He's really good at holding the ball, pivoting, and then shooting and scoring. We saw that at the Euro when he scored against, who was it? Was it against Scotland? I think he scored against Scotland. And he just scored that way today. He just kind of received the ball in the box, pivoted, shot, scored. He's really good at holding the ball, and he has some good pace to him. I want to see Vlasic do something this tournament because it's his time. This is his time to show that he belongs in the team, that he belongs in the Repka, the national team. So I really want to see something good from him. And then we got Lovro Majer. He's like our young gem. You know, he's like, he's going to be our next superstar. He's going to be the next elite player. He's playing for Rennes right now, and he's so appreciated in Rennes because everybody sees his talent. They call him the mini Luka Modric. Lovro Majer, he's been starting on the right side as well, but he could play an attacking midfielder role so well. And I see him, you know, he might not be starting, or he might be starting on right wing. We're still not sure who's going to be starting on right wing. And I think Dalic is not sure as well, but I think Dalic has an idea, and I think Dalic, he's going to have a different formation for each game. I think, anyways, we'll discuss that later, but let's continue Lovro Majer. I think Lovro Majer, he's a magical player as well. He could replace Kovacic if Kovacic is tired or injured, God forbid. You know, he could replace you know, Modric. If Modric is tired and we're winning 2-0, 3-0, Lovro Majer could come in and do his magic, you know. If not, like I said, he could start on the right wing and do his magic. Then we have Kristian Jakic, who is a solid, I would say, defending midfielder. We've seen him play for Frankfurt even on the right as a right back. So that's another option right there as a right back, Kristian Jakic, because he's been playing it for Frankfurt this year. So if ever we have a problem at right back, we need somebody who could always put Jakic in there. Wherever, if we're ever like winning a game, you know, 2-1, and there's like 1 or 2 minutes left, and we want to, you know, just go back and defend. You know, put in Jakic, he's going to help defend. You know, Jakic reminds me a lot of Milan Badel. You know, he was kind of like a player that we would call in just to, you know, to close games off, or if somebody was injured and we need a solid midfielder, a defending midfielder, you know, we would call in Badel. And Jakic is that kind of player. He's just a solid player all around, and he's there to, he does the job. He does the job really well. So really happy that they called him up. And then we have a diamond in the rough, Luka Susic. Now, this young kid right here, it's going to be his first World Cup. And let me tell you something. I saw him play recently against Dinamo Zagreb. He plays for the Red Bull Leipzig. And I couldn't believe my eyes how talented. You could just see the talent oozing out of this kid. He is going to be our next leader at the midfield. You know, once this generation passes through, once Modric and Kovacic, Brozovic, Luka Susic is going to be our future. He is here now. We could put him in, you know, any game. He's going to be solid, and just he's tall. He's one of those tall midfielders, which is amazing to watch. And he has that pace and speed. He takes those beautiful shots, and he just controls the midfield. And Luka Susic is going to be a superstar. I'm telling you right now. I'm happy he's in the lineup. If we ever need him, he's there. So what a midfield, guys. Don't you see this midfield is just incredible? Like I said, challenge me. Which country in the World Cup has a better midfield than us? I don't know. Nobody, guys. Nobody. Come on. Look at this talent. All right. Enough about the midfield. We know it's great. Let's look at the attacking players, the strikers, the wingers. We have the one and only Ivan Perisic. He is the Cristiano Ronaldo of Croatia. He's our left wing. He could be a left back. He scores, he dribbles, he's quick. You know, he's getting up there in age, 33, 34. It doesn't matter. Look at his physicality. He's in shape. He's just a wonderful player. Everybody knows he is world class. We're so lucky to have Ivan Perisic. He will I mean, we used to say Croatia goes how Ivan Perisic plays. So if Ivan Perisic plays good, Croatia is going to be good. If he's not playing good, we're not going to do good. But I think we have enough solid players all around that even if Perisic doesn't perform well, we're still going to do good. But Ivan Perisic, he is that extra spark. He's that that experienced player, like a Ronaldo that just performs well. That just has a wonderful physical attributes, and he could do it all. He could do it all on the field. He could shoot from his left. He could shoot from his right. He could play on the left wing. He could play right wing. He could play as a striker. He could even play defense. It doesn't matter. He's the most perfect player. He's a perfect player. And then we have Andrej Kramaric. Now, he's been one of our standard kind of backup strikers for a long time. He would start a couple of games, but he used to be a backup striker for Mandzukic. When Mandzukic left, Kramaric became our number one striker, but he didn't have the best performances with us. He would score a goal here and there. But Croatia wasn't going too well in those times. They're going through phases. They're changing a lot. The old guard was leaving, and the new guard was coming in. So we had a rough patch after the 2018 World Cup when Kramaric was a striker, and then Dalic he tried a lot of strikers. We had like Santini. We had who else do we have strikers? We tried Livaja. Čolak also came in. So we tried a variety of strikers. Budimir, Budimir as well, and he's a solid, wonderful player. But I think as time has passed a little bit, he's not the striker he used to be. So that's why I think we have other options right now. We have Bruno Petkovic, Miroslav Orsic, Ante Budimir, and Marko Livaja. Now these are the four other options that we have in striking. Orsic plays more on the left side as a left wing. Petkovic is more classical striker. Ante Budimir is the classic striker. And Marko Livaja is also a classic striker, number 9. But none of these players, in Petkovic, Budimir, Livaja, Kramaric, none of these players are like the total package. Like, let's say, Davor Šuker was. I mean, all three of these players have their own talents. Like, Petkovic is really good at holding the ball and kind of pivoting or dribbling and then passing to the left or the right or in the middle. But he's good at backing up. He's like, a center in basketball. He just backs up, he grabs the ball, and then he either pivots, shoots, dribbles, and then shoots, or he passes it back, passes it on the left or on the right. Now, he's really good at that. He's a very physical player, physically strong player. But you're not going to see Petkovic taking a lot of shots or doing that much headers. He's more of the guy that's going to go way back into the midfield. Take the pass it back, move to the forward. He's not the one that's, like I said, is going to be taking those shots outside the box. Or I've seen him do a couple of header goals, but he's not known for his headers. And then we got Ante Budimir, who's more of a taller, lankier player, a little bit more of a Mandzukic side, who's going to put more pressure on the other team's defense. And he's much better with headers. But again, he's not going to be the one taking shots from outside the box. He's more going to be there for like the tapping goals or the headers. And then we got Marko Livaja, the superstar from Hajduk Split, he's had the most amazing last 2 seasons, breaking records with scoring. He's the number 1 scorer in Croatia this season and last season. So he is a little bit more of that classical striker style, but he's a little bit shorter in stature, so you're not going to see him take a lot of those headers. I mean, I think Dalic was kind of strategic here in choosing these 3 strikers, where they all kind of complement each other. Obviously, they're not going to all be playing at the same time, but he could use the type of striker he needs depending on what kind of defense he's playing against, what kind of team he's playing against. I mean, if the tactic is pressing, he's going to go for a Budimir type of player. If he wants more of a tiki-taka style of play, he's probably going to go for a Livaja. If he wants more of a physical game, he's going to go with Petkovic. So I think strategically, Dalic did something great here, where he has a type of striker. He has like many types of strikers where he could use depending on who he plays against. And then obviously we have Kramaric, where he's kind of like, he could kind of do it all. Kramaric could really do it all. I mean, like I said, he's not at his peak right now, but still, he's still solid. And I think we could depend on Kramaric as well. And then we have Mislav Orsic, who plays usually on the left wing. So he's going to be playing, on Perisic's side. So I don't think he's going to be getting that much playing time unless Dalic wants to put Perisic on the right and Orsic on the left. That would be a pretty cool experiment, and then they could switch during the game. But Orsic, I mean, he is standard with Zagreb on the left wing. But nobody could replace Perisic, so unfortunately Orsic is probably going to start on the bench unless they choose to play Perisic on the right side, Orsic on the left. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. That's our lineup. It's our dream team. Croatia, what can I say? We're solid. We have we have 2-3 players for every position, almost 3 players. I mean, if you look at striker, defense, we have about 3 players for almost every position. I mean, this is amazing, and they're all solid players. Like I said, I don't think we've ever had this kind of depth before. Let's take a look at the players that didn't make the cut, that made the long list. And these players didn't make the final list. I mean, we have Antonio Mirko Čolak, who is a striker, and he's having an amazing season with the Rangers. I think he has 11 or 12 goals this season already. Now, people are wondering, why wasn't he chosen? Why wasn't he chosen? I mean, look, I understand Dalic. He has a wide selection of players to choose from. We have a lot of depth, like I said, especially, I mean, look at the strikers we have. I mean, we have Livaja, Petkovic, Kramaric, Budimir. I mean, all right, Budimir is not having the hottest season right now, but all these players have experience playing for Croatia in the last 2-3 years. I mean, they already built this solid relationship, this solid nucleus of players. And I think that's very important in a team, to build a relationship amongst each other. And I think these players, and they have this thing with the Croatian national team, it's called Obitel, family. And they really consider themselves as family. Now, Čolak, he played a couple of games for Croatia, 1 or 2 games here and there. So he's in and out of the national team. So I don't think he has that relationship that, Petkovic or Orsic or Budimir already have with the national team players. So, I mean, when you go into big tournaments like this, you want to be with players that you want to know a player that you're comfortable with. So I'm not too sure that the players are too comfortable with Čolak just yet. I think Dalic still has some work to do in bringing Čolak in to integrate him better within the team. And I think that's one of the reasons why he didn't choose him. It would be like just bringing, I'm not saying he's like an outsider. He's been with the team. I mean, he knows them, but he hasn't spent that much time with the team as much as, let's say, Budimir or Petkovic, Kramaric, So that's one of the reasons I think Dalic didn't select Čolak. And another reason, obviously, is that he wanted players for specific reasons, as I mentioned before. Like I said, Budimir for the headers and for the length and for putting pressure on the defense. Petkovic for the physicality. And Livaja, for that dribbling game, for the passing game, and for the speed. So I think I think Dalic has an idea already, for at least for the first 3 games, who he's going to be playing and which striker. I think every single lineup is going to be different, except for obviously the midfield, unless somebody gets injured. But I think the striker is probably going to be different for every single game. So that's one of the reasons I think Čolak wasn't chosen. I am hoping Čolak remains hot for the Rangers, and then maybe even gets a bigger transfer to a bigger team. And I hope he's going to be integrated into the team for the next, maybe Nations League, or maybe the next Euro. So Čolak, we're with you. It sucks you didn't make it to World Cup, but hang in there. You're doing great. So keep performing, and you can be in the team in no time. All right. We got Brekalo. I was kind of surprised. Well, surprised and not surprised he didn't get chosen. I mean, Brekla is an awesome talent. It just he's having a hard time right now at Wolfsburg. He's not playing that much. Surprisingly, the coach is Niko Kovac. He's not letting him play too much. I mean, almost not at all. So unfortunately, Brekla didn't make the team. It's unfortunate that he could have played a left. He could play on a right wing, left wing. He's a really great talent, really good dribbler. He has good pace with the ball, but unfortunately, he didn't make the team. Much like the defender Pograncic, he didn't make the team. As as I mentioned earlier, our defense is stacked right now, so unfortunately, he didn't make the cut. Duja Chaleta Tsar, unfortunately, also didn't make the cut. He was, one of our rising stars after 2018 in defense. But unfortunately, like I said before, we have so much good players in defense that it's hard. It's really hard to make the team, make the cut. And just Duja, he didn't impress. He didn't impress in the last couple of years. So unfortunately, he didn't make the cut. Who else didn't make the cut? We have Ivan Ušec. Unfortunately, he's not having the best season with Dinamo. Unfortunately, didn't make the cut, but hopefully he bounces back from this and he proves that he's a much better player than what he's been showing recently. We have, who else didn't make the cut? Micic, he's been doing a great job at Dinamo Zagreb this season, last season as well. Super solid. He almost made the cut. I think he almost made the cut, but I think they chose Jakic instead of him, just because Jakic, he has that versatility to play on a right back. So if ever we need somebody in a right back, we could choose Jakic. But Micic, hang in there, man. You might make the next Euro because you've been playing super solid. So that's about it, guys. That's about it for who didn't make the cut. There's a couple more players that didn't make the cut, but as you could see, I think Dalic really did a good job choosing these players. I mean, there's not much surprises, right? There's not much surprises in the squad that was announced today. But you know what? If these guys could stick together, play solid, play with heart like the Croatian team always does, I think we're going to go far. I think we're going to go really, really far. I mean, I'm just looking at Modric right now, and he's going to bring the magic. He's going to bring the magic, and I think our defense is solid. And, we have so much versatility in the strikers. I think goals are going to come from many different players. Just like in 2018, we had goals. We didn't only have goals from Mandzukic. We had goals from Perisic, Mandzukic. We had goals from Modric. We had goals from Vida in 2018 World Cup. We had goals, from a lot of different players, and I want to see that. We had goals from Kramaric as well. I want to see that in this tournament as well. So not only the striker scoring, I want to see Brozovic score. I want to see Kovacic score. I want to see goals coming from left, coming from the right. I want to see a goal from the defense, hopefully gvardiol, or I want to see a goal from Meyer outside the box. He's shown he shoot from outside the box and score. I want to see Livaya take his success with Hajduk and bring it to the World Cup and be the #1 striker at the World Cup. So that's what I want to see, and that's what I wish. And I wish that Croatia is going to go in the finals. And my prediction. I'm going to be doing a prediction video right before the World Cup, but I'll give you a little sneak peek. My prediction for the final at the World Cup is Croatia is going to face Brazil. Now, I'm not going to tell you who's going to win right now. I'll tell you in the video in a week or two, right before the World Cup starts. I'll tell you what my final prediction is, but I think the final game is going to be Brazil versus Croatia in the final game. So that's my prediction. I want to hear your predictions. Write it down in the comments below, please. All right, guys. Now, before I go, some serious news just happened today, okay? Gvardiol got injured. He has like a facial injury. They're saying he might have broken his nose. I'm really worried about this. Hopefully it's not a big deal. Hopefully he could still play for the World Cup. Today was the last game of the season before the break. And Gvardiol wasn't even supposed to play today, but they put him on because another defender was injured. Now Gvardiol played, and the first 14, 15 minutes he got an injury. He went for the header for the ball and collided with his teammate. And they're saying he broke his nose. Hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully he could still recuperate. He has 2 weeks left, so I'm hoping Gvardiol is going to be okay. And Jakic also had a small knee injury apparently today, so it wasn't a good day for injuries today, especially the last game of the season. So Jakic, Gvardiol, hopefully nothing's wrong. They're going to be okay. You know, it's always worrisome the last few couple of games before a World Cup, before a big tournament. You know, you don't want your players to get injured. And gvardiol is such a big piece of our defense. You know, he's such a big talent, so I just hope he's okay. So guys, let's just pray that gvardiol is going to be okay. Same thing for Jakic. All right, so let's do that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. More videos coming up. My next video is going to be, I'm going to be reviewing the new FIFA game, FIFA 2023. Because Croatia made a comeback in that game, so I'm going to be reviewing that. That video is coming up in a couple days. Guys, I want to hear from you guys. Please comment below. What do you guys think about the lineup? How far do you think Croatia is going to go with this lineup? I really want to hear from you guys. So guys, it's been a pleasure. Please don't forget to click subscribe below. More videos coming up. Guys, 2 weeks away from the World Cup. I can't wait. I'm before going to bed, I'm thinking about, you know, how Croatia is going to play. I'm thinking about the results. I can't wait. I'm excited. It's finally here, the World Cup. All right, guys. So don't forget to subscribe. Love you all. Do viđenja. Take care.